steps. These are going to be the same steps which we have followed in the blog, but it will be better if you see the program, how it is working, how we are going to type it. It will be better for you to see it in this order. First of all, go to Start, open your programs, click upon Python, open Python IDLE window. Here, if you remember, we used to do in class 9, we used to click upon File, choose New, and start typing the program. So now I'm going to type the same program which you must have seen in the blog just now. M1 equal to float input, enter your marks in subject 1. M2 equal to float bracket open input again, because as I have told in the blog, input function is going to accept the values from the user in the form of string, but then you need to typecast it. In simple words, you need to convert it to float type, because the marks can be in the way, for example, 24.5, 33.5. That means it may contain the fractional values. Let's move ahead. Enter your marks in subject 2, inverted commas close, and the brackets are also closed. Float, because we have to convert every mark entry to float type only. That is why everywhere float is used. And you can notice after float, I'm opening a bracket which will accept the values for float function. Then I'm opening the bracket after input function also to accept the values for input. And the message is written here. And this message goes to the user and guides him or her about how to enter and what to enter. M4 equal to float input, enter your marks in subject 4. I'm closing 2 brackets at the end in every line because we have started 2 brackets. We have opened 2 brackets, one because of float, another because of input. M5 equal to float again, and you can notice that input and float both are written in small letters, everything in small letters, because these are the functions and their function name is always in small letters. Marks in subject 5. Now we have created 5 lines of the code which will accept 5 different marks belonging to 5 different subjects. Now let us move ahead. If you see the code, right now we are at a place, if these 5 lines are executed, you will find that there are 5 different values in your 5 different variables, starting from M1 to M2, M3, M4, and M5. Now we have 5 different marks, 5 different values in our 5 different variables. So now next thing is to find the total. So I'm naming the variable as total only, so that I can easily identify what is there inside my variable. And I am summing up all the values like this: M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus M4 plus M5. Now I am going to calculate percentage. For percentage, I don't want to write the lengthy word. It's easy for me to write per. So I'm using the word per. And when I write total, now I need to write a type of slash. This is a slash symbol. which helps us to divide two values. And obviously, if the 5 subjects are there, the total would be 500. Now, why I've used this bracket? Because I want to separate this from this calculation. Now, because the formula of calculating any percentage, for example, if you have got 200 marks out of 500, so you will calculate your percentage like 200 divided by 500 into 100. So this is what I have also done here. Total divided by 500 multiplied by 100. Now here, after writing the multiplier symbol and writing 100, we need to move ahead with the next function, and that is to print the final values. Why? Because the final values are now in our hands. So we need to showcase it on the screen, otherwise they will remain inside the memory only. Now here we can see, first of all, the print function is used. In front of print function, you have written a bracket, then a bracket is followed by inverted commas. You can call them quotation marks. Then I have written the text which I want to be printed on the screen. I want total marks to be printed as a text in front of the screen, on the screen, sorry. And then comma is going to join my variable's value in the sentence. Means now on the screen, it will be printed as total marks, then colon, and then a value. For example, if a total is 287, the printing will be done like total marks, colon, 287. Let us print the percentage in the same manner. Now here I'm writing percentage as the full word. Why? Because I don't want user to get confused, because user doesn't know that what is the meaning of per. I have used the variable per, but actually on the screen I will have to print complete word percentage. So this percentage is a string which will be printed on the screen, and this per is going to be the variable, whose value will be printed on the screen. Now I need to save this function before I run it, because I cannot run. If you remember in class 9th, you were never able to run a program without saving it. So let us save the program first. I am right now saving it on my desktop to avoid confusions. I'm saving it here. Like this is our question number 10 of the worksheet. q10.py is my code, is the file extension which I need to give. .py is the file extension. Save. Now once you have saved it, you can now run it. Go to the run button, run menu, click upon run module. Here you can see the output is coming like this. Enter your marks in subject 1. So I'm entering some marks, for example, 65. Enter your marks in subject 2. Similarly, I'm entering the marks in all the subjects. Once I press enter, now the statement total equal to m plus m1 plus m2 plus m3 plus m4 plus m5 will start executing. Similarly, percentage statement will also get executed. And as you can see at the bottom, last two lines are giving us the output which is given by the print statement. Total marks 368, percentage 73.6. So this is how we can execute a program, type a program, save a program, and run a program. Using the same method, you can go through all the programs which we have done in class 9 and access the worksheet which we have sent on Redox and start working on the programs which are given in that worksheet. Thank you, boys.